Good day, here are the stories from the Philippine News Agency. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. welcomed Indian Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar on his visit to the country to boost bilateral cooperation on maritime issues. During the visit, the President extended his appreciation to the Indian government for rescuing Filipino crew members of MV True Confidence hit by a Houthi missile in the Gulf of Aden. More on this from Marita Muahe.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. thanked the government of India for rescuing Filipino crew members of MV True Confidence. Marcos extended his gratitude as Indian Minister of External Affairs Subramaniam Jaishankar paid a courtesy visit at Malacanang Palace on Tuesday. The president also said he looks forward to further strengthening bilateral relations with India. The Indian Navy rescued all the crew members of MV True Confidence after the ship sustained severe damage from a Houthi missile attack on March 6. 3 crew members, including 2 Filipinos, were killed. Meanwhile, the Philippines and India agreed to hold a government-to-government dialogue to boost maritime cooperation. Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo made the announcement following a bilateral meeting with Jaishankar. He said India and the Philippines will explore ways to contribute to the security of both countries and ensure that the Indo-Pacific region remains open and peaceful. He also said Manila hopes to collaborate with New Delhi in protecting Indian and Filipino seafarers, especially crew members of ships plying the Red Sea. Jaishankar meanwhile stressed India's readiness to strengthen its maritime partnerships with the country. Jaishankar also expressed India's commitment to support the Philippines' defense of its national sovereignty over its territory in the South China Sea. He emphasized the importance of abiding by international law, specifically the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Manila currently protests the latest China aggression, where a Chinese Coast Guard ship blasted a Filipino supply boat with a water cannon on Saturday. Jaishankar is visiting the Philippines from March 25 to 27 as part of his Southeast Asian tour, which includes Singapore and Malaysia. His trip to the country coincides with a visit of the Indian Coast Guard ship Samudra Pahiredar in Manila to enhance cooperation on Coast Guard functions and pollution response. For the Pna Headlines, I am Marita Muahe.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. earned the support of the U.S. Congressional Delegation, or CODEL, as the country protested anew the aggressive actions of China in the West Philippine Sea. During the delegation's courtesy call in Malacanang on Tuesday, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand said the CODEL stands with the Philippines in pushing back China's aggression. Gillibrand expressed concern over China's actions in the West Philippine Sea despite international ruling favoring the Philippines. She also expressed delight being in a beautiful country filled with optimism and hope for the future. Meanwhile, Gillibrand noted the Filipinos' contribution to the U.S., especially in healthcare, technology, and the armed services. She highlighted the opportunities between the Philippines and the U.S. in strengthening economic ties in the fields of energy, minerals, and commerce, among others. The CODEL paid courtesy call to Malacanang as part of their 2-day visit to the Philippines from March 25 to 26. The Department of Migrant Workers has offered to help overseas Filipino workers illegally staying in Kuwait to avail of its government's amnesty program. In a news release, the DMW said its migrant workers office in Kuwait is ready to provide information on the process of availing amnesty, including securing new passports at the Philippine Embassy. It also said it will also help in the repatriation of OFWs who want to go home instead. The amnesty period announced by the Kuwait Interior Ministry is from March 17 to June 17. It covers foreigners who illegally stayed in Kuwait, including their family members, but wish to continue their residency. The DMW meanwhile said the Kuwaiti government will allow overstaying foreigners to leave without paying immigration fines once they comply with the requirements. However, those with travel bans and pending criminal complaints can leave only after their cases are resolved. Those who refuse to leave Kuwait after the amnesty period will be subject to arrest and permanent deportation. For more information, OFWs may contact MWO Kuwait through its hotlines or via email. The Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C. assured that no Filipino citizens were harmed in the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. Consul Mark Dominic Lim said there have been no reports of Filipinos affected by the incident. He said the embassy is currently looking into the possible presence of Filipino crew members on the Singaporean cargo ship that collided with the bridge. Meanwhile, Maryland and Baltimore have been placed under a state of emergency as search and rescue operations continue for missing victims. Authorities expressed concerns for the safety of 6 construction workers who were fixing potholes and fell into the Patapsco River during the collapse. Preliminary investigations indicated that the ship sent a distress call leading to the closure of the bridge before the collision occurred. The National Transportation Safety Board is currently investigating to determine the cause of the incident. The Federal Bureau of Investigation said the incident is not connected to terrorism. The city government of Manila has announced a liquor ban for Holy Thursday and Good Friday in areas near Catholic churches. Under Executive Order No. 9 signed by Manila Mayor Hani Lacuna on Tuesday, selling and drinking of alcoholic drinks are not allowed within 500-meter radius of all Catholic churches in the city. Lacuna also directed the local police and law enforcement units to strictly enforce the measure. The move is in line with the Republic Act 7160 known as the Local Government Code of 1991, which grants local chief executives the authority to exercise general supervision and control over all programs, projects, services, and activities of the local government. Manila is home to numerous historical and renowned churches in the Philippines, including Quiapo Church, San Agustin Church, Manila Cathedral, Binondo Church, and Santo Niño de Tondo Church. And that's the latest of the biggest stories on the PNA Headlines. For more news updates, please visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account via the News and Information Bureau website nib.gov.ph under PNA News or on the Facebook page of the Presidential Communications Office or PCO. I am Wilnard Basilonia and this is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.